illness is a major problem in our society, and over 50% of the population will be diagnosed with a mental illness at some point during their life. With this many people being affected by mental illness, chances are that you or someone you know will deal with a mental health problem at some point during their life. Because this is such a major problem, it's really important to understand ways that we can improve our mental health. One way of doing this is by spending time with animals. Many people are affected by mental illness in many different ways. As I mentioned, over 50% of the population will be diagnosed with mental illness at some point in their lifetime, and 1 in 5 Americans will be diagnosed with a mental illness in any given year. 2 mental health disorders that are often diagnosed in childhood are attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and autism spectrum disorder. There are currently 6 million children between the ages of 3 and 17 in the US alone that are diagnosed with attention deficit disorder, and there are over 75 million people worldwide across all age ranges that are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. The World Health Organization reported that depression is currently a leading cause of disability, and that the 4th leading cause of death in the ages between 15 and 30 is suicide. They also reported that people who deal with major mental illnesses are likely to die up to 20 years earlier than people who don't from diseases that are preventable. So there's no one fix for mental illness, but one thing that can be really helpful is just spending time with animals. Studies have found that animals can improve symptoms of many mental illnesses, including depression, anxiety, ADHD, and autism spectrum disorder. In 2013, there was a study done that found that children with ADHD who read to dogs for 30 minutes a day had improved social interactions and fewer behavioral issues during school. In 2015, a study found that children with autism spectrum disorder who played with guinea pigs during class had better social interactions and less anxiety. The American Heart Association reported that dogs can actually decrease stress, depression, anxiety, and the feeling of loneliness. One way that pets help to manage anxiety is by increasing the feeling of support and companionship. Another way animals improve our mental health is by getting us more active. That improves our sleep, our physical health, and our overall mental well-being. A 2021 study found that people with dogs reported having less depression and anxiety than people without, and they also reported having better social support. So, there are many positive effects of having animals, and they should definitely be considered in our fight to improve mental health. Life can be really difficult, and mental illness, such as depression, anxiety, are at an all-time high. Pets can improve overall mental health by decreasing stress, anxiety, and depression, and by increasing a feeling of companionship in our lives. In summary, over 50% of the population will be diagnosed with a mental illness at some point in their life. Depression and anxiety are at an all-time high, and suicide is a leading cause of death for young people. Animals can improve mental health, decreasing depression and anxiety, and increasing a feeling of social support in our lives. We can start today improving our mental health by spending time with a friend's animal, volunteering at an animal shelter, or spending time with our own animals. If you don't currently have an animal, consider adoption in your future. And if that's not a possibility, consider spending time with animals outside of your home. If something as simple as spending time with animals can improve our mental health, then we should all be doing it.